keep it cool, babe. Now lose my swag and play the fool, babe. Just play the game and hold on, maybe. But I'm done with the waiting, done with the waiting. I'm done with playing nice. Now look me in the eyes. Tell me, tell me, tell me what you see inside. Not gonna ask you twice. Not looking for your lies. Tell me, do you wanna go? Do you wanna go? Do you wanna go? Do you wanna go? Those who wanna play by the rules end up last with nothing to obtain. So let's level up to remain. 'Cause I'm done with the waiting, done with the waiting. I'm done with playing nice. Now look me in the eyes. Tell me, tell me, tell me what you see inside. Not gonna ask you twice. Not looking for your lies. Tell me, do you wanna go? 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 I'm riding the wave tonight. Gonna try it while the world's bright. Got room for one if that's alright. That's alright. Do you wanna go? 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 Do you wanna go?
Hello, everyone. Can everyone hear me? Happy Monday, happy Monday. Oh, I'm so happy to be back on the podcast. Oh, the last 2 days have been good and bad. I'm keeping myself busy in the sun, but it made me very, very weak. Do be careful, everyone, in these hot temperatures, because as much as the sun is lovely, you need to stay hydrated, you need to stay in the shade, you need to make sure that you're putting on that suntan lotion, especially if you have fair skin. And it definitely overwhelmed me the last couple of days. Like every time I wanted to come on and do a podcast, it's just the headache was going and my energy is drained. So I'm feeling a lot better today. Thank you everyone so much for your well wishes. I did manage to head out to London yesterday and sit by Tower Bridge, which was beautiful. And no, I don't have a piece of duct tape on my laptop because my laptop is broken. It's because I needed to hide the camera lens. And my dog friend here, who I met on the train, knows exactly how I felt. Absolutely exhausted, but I'm feeling a lot better today. And I'm so happy to be back on the podcast because there's actually some good news. We're going to see our faves in September. Finally. Harry and Meghan are coming out the house. They're coming to the UK and to Germany. So we're going to get into all of that today. So buckle up. And some other news stories as well. So let's see who's in the chat. See who's in the chat today. Rosa, hello. Hi, Sylvia. So you're trying to make it home for the podcast. Oh, I do love you all. You can always join the replay, gang. Hello, Wendy Lohman. Hi. Hi, Lavender. Hi, Patricia. Glad to be back. Thank you. Hey, Bonnie. Hi, Kat Harlem. Hey, hey, hey. Odessa. Um, Hi, Miss P. Yeah, Lavender Rose has been unusually hot this year. Elaine, it's made me quite poorly. Yeah, it's made me quite poorly as well. Like I've underestimated how much it would affect me. I mean, I was in Thailand for like a whole month 2 years ago, and I didn't feel this bad. But then I guess, in hot countries like that, I think the reason why is because we just don't really have air conditioning and the types of houses and buildings that are made to, you know, handle this type of heat. All right, welcome to everybody in the chat. Thank you, moderators, and let's get into it. Let's get into a couple other things before we get into the main stories of the day. So, slight trigger warning for anyone who's been the victim of assault. But for those of you who live in London, uh, please be on the lookout. There is a manhunt for a man who assaulted a woman. He followed her um, after they got on the bus, and the pictures are quite distinctive. So I thought it'd be worth sharing just for anyone, because I know a couple of you do live in London. Keep your eyes on the lookout. Um, and if you see anyone that looks like this, please do report it to the police. It's not that often that you get images that are like this clear. So please do take a look out, and keep your wits about you. Also, a Megan Misunderstood is still gaining traction. So glad that this book is finally getting the attention that it deserves, and it keeps moving up the bestsellers list. And yeah, if you haven't got your copy, please do get the copy of the book. I'm just waiting until the end of the month to get mine, and I will definitely read through it and do a review. But there is a chapter by chapter club reading going on in Twitter Spaces. So just a reminder to make sure you get Megan Misunderstood and support the book and the author. In other United Kingdom news, Bojo the Clown was on holiday. I don't know what he feels um he should be taking a holiday for at this point. He should really be doing a handover of government and focusing on that. But the good news is, while he was on holiday, he was apparently booed and told to get back to work, you fat nonce. Oh, sorry, fat ponce. Not here for the fat shaming, but I am here for someone yelling at Bojo. So that's that. Yeah, Prime Minister having a holiday while he should be doing a handover of government, um, while the country is going to absolute bits and pieces. Oh, also, another warning: seeing as a lot of you here are women, and we like to shop, and I'm sure there's a couple of you who shop at Shein. Is that how you say it? Shein, Shein. Please don't shop at that place. There have been numerous complaints of people having all sorts of bad reactions, and the standards and quality of the outfits and other items that are sold on there. It has been found that there is a lot of lead in the clothing, and lead exposure can lead to all sorts of mood disorders, reduced sperm count, abnormal activity, miscarriages, stillbirth in pregnant women. And the reason this actually caught my attention was because there was a woman who I follow on TikTok, and she said that one of the nail products that she used basically dissolved into her skin and potentially gave her heavy metal poisoning. Her fingers started tingling. She's now got damage in some of her nerve tissue. So they're still waiting back for the results to see what's going on here. But if this is what happens to someone who just uses a product from whatever factories these products are, wherever they're made, sorry, you have to wonder what's going on with the workers that work there. So I just thought I'd point that out, because I know the overwhelming majority of people who listen to this podcast are women. Please do not buy from these cheap websites, because you are actually really messing with your health, and it's just not worth, buying the cheap clothing. Buy quality clothing that lasts you a long time. Back to royal news though. Our faves, our second faves, Ford Fiesta and Edwina have some interesting accounting going on with their charitable trust or Countess of Wessex charitable trust. So the expenditures completely and utterly outweigh the income. And this is going back all the way to 2017. You've got total expenditure over 260k, total gross income 316, to last year 2022, total gross expenditure 30k, total income £31, a whole £31. You've got the Sussex squad raising hundreds and thousands, and the other royals can't even pull in 100 in a whole year. That is mighty pathetic and also mighty worrying how they can have so many expenditures, um, but so little income. Don't know what's going on there. Maybe somebody who understands charities could maybe explain this. Am I reading this wrong? You know, what do these figures indicate? Maybe somebody could explain. But to me, just looking at the figures, that looks hella dodgy, and I don't know what's going on there. So let's get your comments before we carry on. Lavender, you must get a copy of the book. Yes, do. Karen M, I don't think Harry would take his family back to the UK if he didn't have everything in line for their safety. Yes, I think so too. So there must have been some kind of agreement going on with his safety and security. Bojo likes vacations like William and Kate. Yes, and he also like William and Kate. He likes to take them at the most tone deaf times when he shouldn't be. Yes, Edwina, that's what we're calling him now. Hi, Chef Sandy Love. Oh, I missed you too. Honestly, lover, I have read the book and it's wonderfully written, an eye opener to everyone. So everything one needs to know about Meghan's life, pre-royal and in royal life. Sam Smith did lots of justice to it unapologetically. That is wonderful to know. Also, Daily Fail proving what we already knew, that Harry and Meghan are the draw. So you had this article that they posted. Prince William and Kate Middleton's Royal Foundation increased income. I mean, Harry and Meghan are barely mentioned in this article, like a footnote. But look at the picture that they use, and they use the bigger picture of Harry and Meghan. They are truly, truly thirsty for any amount of Harry and Meghan news. So do expect over the next couple of weeks leading up to the next appearances of Harry and Meghan, just nonsense and foolery and coonery coming out of this island, because they are thirsty. They're going to make 30 stories out of one story that they made up. Okay, so that's that. Also, I came across this and I'd actually never seen this before regarding the removal of titles. So this is the removal of titles bill. This is a private members bill that is currently going through the House of Commons. So the bill would essentially give the monarch powers to remove titles, to provide such removals can be done by the monarch on their own initiative or following recommendations of a joint committee of parliament and for connected purposes. Now, this is being put forward by a Labour MP called Rachel Maskell. So I'm going to assume, because this is a Labour MP, I'm just going to assume, because I don't know what Rachel's overall politics are. Because even though she's Labour, she could be more centre Labour, or there are people who are a little bit more to the right Labour. I'm going to assume that perhaps this bill was brought forward because of Prince Andrew, or wanting to remove titles from people like Prince Andrew. But we know that some of the biggest calls to remove titles have been to actually remove Harry and Meghan's titles, even though there is no reason to remove their titles whatsoever. But just regarding the whole thing about titles anyway, I mean, even if you remove the titles of a royal, say you remove the titles of like Prince Andrew's title, right? He is still a hereditary prince. He's still the son of the queen. So he will always be entitled to those princely privileges. So I feel like in a way the whole idea of removing titles, it's almost like you're masking over a much bigger problem because you remove the titles, it's almost like you're just removing somebody's name, right? But the person is still there enjoying the privileges. So I'm not even entirely sure. I'm going to do a little bit more research into this because I actually haven't researched into it too much. What exactly the point of this is and why she has put this forward or why she's trying to get this passed through and who else is supporting this bill, because I honestly feel like when it comes to the royals, removing titles is actually just the least of our worries or what we should be looking at. We should be looking at actually removing the whole institution, or sorry, removing the individuals at the heart of the institution from the taxpayers' purse. That should actually be the first thing. And if there's any Labour MPs that have a backbone, that's the bill that I want to see put through. The removal of the key members of the royal family from the taxpayers' purse strings because they um, accumulate their own wealth and have their own wealth anyway. That's the bill that I want to see. This to me is just completely and utterly pointless. I'll take your comments. Thank you so much, Miller Zimmer, for the super sticker. Much appreciated, darling. Yes, Emma will be bombarded with stories leading up to Sussex's visit. Pamela, let's trust Prince Harry's judgment on security and safety of his family. They'll be fine, I'm sure, yes. And to me, it looks like only Harry and Meghan are coming to the UK so far. There hasn't been anything regarding the kids so far. We didn't even see I mean we know that Lily came for the Jabibi weekend, but we didn't see Archie. Now that's not to say that Archie didn't come either, but we didn't see him. Sharon G, this is a request by the Queen to remove Harry and Meghan's titles. Not that I know of. I don't know that that's accurate. If you've heard that, then that's a rumor that hasn't been confirmed. Because if the Queen is going to do that, well then why wouldn't she? If the Queen is going to do that, that's going to look very bad on her. While there's calls, sorry, while if Andrew's going to keep his titles. Wendy, stupid bill that has no bones. Andrew's royal birth um cannot change that. Yeah, this is why I'm just like, didn't titles used to be, or the reason titles were given was partly because of the allocation of land. But as royals lost their power, it's like having a title became more of like just a status thing, as opposed to anything that could actually wield any power. And that's why I'm saying like this is just it just seems like such a waste of time. It's like window dressing. Sharon Davis, why does Andrew still have pets? Because he's mummy's favorite. Kat Harlem, since Harry and Meghan are no longer working royals, is it necessary for them to announce their future appearances? Or was it the organizations who announced their appearances? No, I don't think when you say announce their future appearances, do you mean is it necessary for them to tell the other royals that they're going to announce their future appearances? Because I think the answer is no. And also the fact that the organizations have all announced their appearances all on the same day tells me that they probably all told them to release them all on like basically today. I think that's probably their teams and their PR people working with them and the organizations to say, can you announce all of the appearances today? I don't think it's by accident that they've announced all of their appearances today. I think they probably told them, please wait until this time to announce them. But yes, it was the organizations that announced their appearances. I'll go through all of them in a sec. Fatima, the Tories that bill th- will not let that bill go through because they love having a day. So they love having a say in what the monarchy does. Bringing aids, like, sorry, like bringing aids, for example. Yes, they won't have anything to do with that bill at all. I hope the UK will go out in support of Meghan and Harry and have loud cheers and huge crowds. I'm absolutely sure that that will be the case. Manchester, like London, is a very liberal city, so I'm sure they will have a lot of support. Sharon G, they also want to remove Archie and Lily's titles before Charles becomes king. They probably do want to do that, but I don't understand why they think that this will help them. Because listen, and I've said this before, while we know that the attempt to remove Meghan's titles, to remove Archie and Lily's titles, are to erase the only biracial members of this family, the fact of the matter is that Meghan has been a queen all her life. And those children, whether they have royal titles or not, are always going to overshadow the other royal children. So, you know, as much as it's annoying that they're doing this because they want to erase the only biracial members in this family, when it really comes down to it, guys, the titles. I've always said that I really don't care. I really don't care about them having these titles or not. I guess you could make the argument, and I think this is something that Megan said in the Oprah interviews, um, that the titles it's also linked to their security. So yes, I can understand it from that perspective, but in terms of does taking away those titles does it mean anything as far as who they are? No, because Megan is always going to be amazing, and her children, and I'm sure she will pass that on to her children as well. And the interest around her children will always be greater than the other royal kids. So I say all that to say all of this obsession that this island and certain people in circles on this island have with taking away the titles, it's really just an obsession that they have um with their obsession with status and aristocracy here. It doesn't mean anything anywhere else. Lavender, I believe the attempt to especially remove Meghan's title, they recently became enraged that Perry referred to Meghan as a princess. Yeah. I mean, CNN actually did a 5-minute video. I didn't watch it, but they did a 5-minute video with Max Foster, talking about whether or not should be called a princess. I mean, there was never this much complaining and explaining when uh, Diana was around. Yes, honesty lover. It doesn't matter how they're styled, they're still going to thrive uncontrollably and soar more higher even than eagles. Let them take that title. Who cares? Nonsense. Yeah, I've said this from the very beginning. Like, it just, to me, it just doesn't matter. Take titles, take them. Take the titles and let Andrew keep his title and see how crusty and dusty this institution looks in the eyes of everybody after that. Benjamin, Andrew is a slime ball. However, Charles needs to be careful too. Andrew can write a book too. I don't think Andrew will be writing any books. I think he will want to stay as quiet as possible. Okay, on to the next thing. This article came out in the Daily Fell the other day. Secret plans detail what will happen when the Queen dies. I thought it interesting that they would publish this completely out of the blue, and this is from yesterday, the 14th of August, especially when there have been a lot of concerns about the Queen's health. So coincidence or conspiracy, you decide, but I just thought it was very strange. Uh, Emerald, Derek, Diana's brother said at her funeral, "You don't need a title to do good work." Diana did some work after they took away her HRH, yes. But Diana's brother has been all types of shady recently. CMAC, Charles is probably no longer opposing security because he's trying to figure out how to pimp our faves because he needs them. Liz is on her last leg and it just ain't cutting it. Yeah. I think they're just starting to realize now that, the gig is up and they're gonna need all the goodwill that I think at least Charles may be starting to realize. I think Kate and William will always be salty and they're really trying to up their popularity and it's just not working. Crazy Trekker, as one professor put it in the title of Prince and Princess is more marketable than the Duke and Duchess title. Harry and Meghan will forever be Prince and Princess, as Harry is royal by blood. Well, to me, and I think to most of the people in the squad, and to most of the people who support them, and to most of the people who really drive the Sussex's success and popularity, to us, they're just Harry and Meghan. So I've I've never cared about Harry um because because he was a prince. I started to care about him and who he was when he started doing his own charity work like Centre Ballet and Invictus. And even any respect I had or for William and Harry before that was because I respected the work that their mother did and I assumed that they would carry on the work of their mother. So I was never interested in Harry or William just because they were princes. Obviously, as the years have gone on, Harry has proven himself to be a lot more uh, charitable, compassionate, and kind than his brother. And the same with Meghan. Um, I wasn't someone who just automatically, just liked her. I didn't know her before, but when I found out that she was dating Harry, I can't say that I was too interested at the time. It's only when I started to hear about all the stuff that she'd done with, the Vogue magazine and the Together cookbook and SmartWorks. I'm actually a previous recipient of help from SmartWorks when I was jobless. That's when I was like, oh, who's this? Oh, who's this woman that, Harry's dating? It seems like she's doing a lot of good things. And then I found out or slowly started to discover there's actually a smear campaign against this woman. And one thing led to another. And here we are today with this podcast. But the interest was never just because they were royal. Sylvia, removing Meghan's Duchess titles just means we'll be calling her Princess Meghan anyway. Exactly. That's another thing. Hi, Kay Castillo. How are you? Michael Miller, their titles do matter because if Andrew can retain his HRH and Prince title after his PP, then Duke and Duchess of Sussex damn well better retain their titles. Well, you're right, Michael, but I'm also bitter. And I dare them to do that because it's going to be so damaging to the institution. Anna, London Bridge will fall, Big Ben stop working, Humpty Dumpty will fall and can't put him together again. Oh, I can't wait. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen when the Queen dies. Humpty Dumpty's gonna Humpty Dumpty's gonna fall. Uh egg in the emoji chat if you agree with Anna, please. Oh, I love you. I love you all. Okay, so on to the next thing. The Diana documentary. Now, I live in the UK and I have not yet seen this. I've been looking for a like a link online somewhere to like a Tourette site where they might have it linked, but I haven't found it yet. I know that there have been squad watch parties, but I haven't been able to jump in on a squad watch party either. So I haven't yet gotten around to watching it, but I will do a review once I have. I have seen links, sorry, not links, small clips of it on Twitter, on Instagram, and just as well, I haven't actually seen it because I think I need to brace myself emotionally from what I have seen so far and from what people have said about the documentary. A lot of people rightfully making links between the way Meghan is being treated and the way Diana was treated. There's one particular clip that I have seen that is just haunting, both the footage and the music, where Diana's coffin leaves the chapel and you see Prince Harry as a young boy just looking absolutely devastated and lost. And when I saw that footage with with the music in the background, a shout out to whoever did the scoring for this movie because they did a really, really good job. It's just so haunting, and you look at the other royals, you look at these people, and you just think, just excuse my language, but just you heartless pieces of shit. Like, that's the only thing that I can really say about any of this, because how? When you saw those images of that little boy, and at the time, mind you, all Charles does is pat Harry on the shoulder. How, all these years later, when he has his own family, do you treat him and his wife the way that they have been treated and create a situation with his security where him and his family could get hurt? So if you have seen the documentary of thank you everyone who put an egg in the chat. If you have seen the documentary, please do let me know what your thoughts are. CMAC left me in tears. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people saying this, that it left them in tears. Mina Ruth, I cried on that scene. Yeah, a lot of people saying that as well. Um, I've heard that there's also a lot of footage that's never been seen, or footage of certain events kind of seen from a different angle. But this is what the filmmaker had to say to People magazine about the film. He said, but this film isn't about assigning blame, he adds, and the story is more complicated than that. The truth is that we, the people, create demand for newspaper articles or photos. Yes, this film is about Diana, but actually, the real interesting thing for me is, what does Diana say about all of us? What does it say about our relationship to the monarchy more widely? What does it say about our relationship to celebrity? I think it's important to have a kind of adult conversation about our role in the story. Um, I kind of only half agree with him there. I do think the public does have a role to play, and our obsession with celebrity does have a role to play. And certainly at the time that Diana was alive, it wasn't just a case of, oh, we want to see the work that she's doing and we're interested in the work that she's doing. Um and I think that's where royal fans, especially Meghan's fan base, has tried to be very different. We're focusing, more on the work and more on what matters. Whereas back then, there was just such an insatiable thirst for anything Diana related. And some of that, yes, scandal. And then also the side, and why I don't agree with him when he says this film isn't about assigning blame, because some of that hounding by the press was actually led by the institution. Um, Partly because they wanted to destroy Diana, but also there was a part of the institution, even though um, they were jealous of her, they also needed her, and they needed for that thirst to be there. So I don't agree with him when he says this film isn't about assigning blame, because I think there is blame to be assigned, particularly when it comes to the monarchy. and yes, partly to the public. And I have to say, I think as far as the Sussex fan base goes, I think we have um tried not to be part of that um a culture that helps sort of contributes to history repeating itself. I do see people when people post pictures of the kids, people calling that out, being I think a lot more kinder to the royal children. I've never said anything particularly negative about the royal children. I criticize their parents because clearly their parents don't care about them. But I think things like that, we have been very careful to not indulge too much in creating like a hostile environment. Maverick, I don't think I can watch it. Yeah, from what I'm hearing, it's quite triggering. And I was around, how old was I? 7 years old when Diana died, and I still do remember being taken to the palace to lay flowers, and just that whole week leading up to her funeral. So in fact, interestingly enough, from that time of my life, it's some of the most vivid memories I have. So I can imagine even for those who are very young, this is going to be very triggering. Truth be told, you got to alive finally. It was very haunting. I went to bed sad and dreamt about Diana, really sad. Yeah. I mean, if you are a monarchist, you really have to ask yourself, what are you supporting at this point? You are really just hanging on to a false fairy tale that is peddled by an abusive institution. That is what you're hanging on to at this point. Anyway, let's oh yeah, but there was just a couple more slides I had about this for the commentators saying, just finished watching Princess Diana HBO and realized the British royal family gladly gave security to the corpse of Princess Diana that they refused to give to her when she was alive. I'm so glad that Prince Harry took Princess Meghan away from all of that. I'm so glad they're safe. That is a very good point. Something that I never even thought about. I mean, look at that. A whole motorcade for her dead body, but nothing when she was alive. Oi. Crazy Trekker. The royal firm played the biggest role in Diana's death, followed by tabloids when the public, because the royal firm could have stepped in and shut it out, but they were too deep into their invisible contract. Yeah, way too deep. Sylvia, I saw the documentary. I was shaken. I saw the parallels with Meghan. The difference is Diana had the media, print and TV paparazzi hounding her, and Meghan has the media, print and TV, and social media. Yes, that is a very, very good point. Having said that, Meghan also has, with social media, a hell of a lot of people supporting her and pushing back. So that's one good thing, at least, and that's what we're here for. Um, and yeah, I mean, this is what we had at the time. You know? Just very, very sad. Um, Couple of other tweets, people commenting about the documentary. Prince Charles betrayed Princess Diana. Camilla, his future queen, betrayed Prince Diana. But the greatest betrayal of all is the betrayal by her son, Prince William. That would have broken Princess Diana's heart. That's all you need to know. And somebody else saying, the Princess HBO rehashes everything we already know. The royal family snatched up a child in 1981 to marry their 32-year-old son because they didn't approve of his choice and made her life hell for 16 years. May she rest in peace knowing Harry got out. The people's princess. And that's probably the only silver lining out of all of this is that Diana never made it out, but her son did and found happiness finally. But anyway, that is all of the dreary news and ranting. And let's finish off your comments before we get on to the nice news of the day. send you. I think to remove the titles of Prince Harry and Meghan, they should have to be committed. They should have committed a crime or to be criminals, right? Andrew was accused of R-ing a minor. That is a good point. I don't know under what conditions you can remove someone's titles. I think that with Harry and Meghan, they'll just try to make the argument it's because they stepped down as working royals. I think that's what they'll try to argue if it's going to go that way. But then they have to try and justify how that is worse than R-ing a minor. Y'all, this is why I'm saying I'm petty, and I hope they try to do it because it's going to be yet another thing that leads them one step closer to their demise. That'll just be the biggest mistake that the institution ever made if they try to take Harry and Meghan's titles. So if they want to be that stupid, let them be that stupid. Let's not stop them. They only gave Gail said they only gave her all that after death because of the backlash from the people again, only to serve themselves, not Diana ultimately. Exactly. Gwendolyn, there is a documentary coming up on the 31st of August on Channel 4 about Princess Diana. I'm sure they'll a lot of other channels will be having documentaries because it is the 25th anniversary of her death. Because it's Channel 4 and because it's a British television station, I would be wary of that one. Not sure I'll watch it. But we'll see what they say in that. Channel 4 did come under fire some years ago because they were going to publish unseen photos of Diana just after the crash, and there was a big hoo-ha after. There was a big hoo-ha when it happened, but then when the photos were released, they were like you could barely see anything in the photos. So essentially, they just used this to get viewers. Like it is just gross. Dilly, everyone needs to watch this documentary. It shows Camilla and Charles in their right light. Horrid. No one should forget how they treated Diana. Yes, and HBO really, I feel, have done an amazing thing with this documentary because we can push back all we like, but you need big networks like this to do shows like this and documentaries like this. Otherwise, it's just, Harry and Meghan's fans making noise. But when a director, who is acclaimed makes a show like this that reaches so many people, um, it really adds to pushing back against all of the negative rhetoric from the British press. And I love that it's, an American station that has done this because the British press can't control what American filmmakers and television does and says. And now I'm really looking forward to The Crown. All right, let's just scroll through so we can get to the nice part. Oh, Valerie, you recorded it on your TV. Fantastic. Hi, Cinderella. Thanks for joining us. All right, on to the nice things, finally. Yes, Harry and Meghan are coming over to Europe. So, in the lead up to the Invictus Games, Dusseldorf Twitter posted, "We are pleased to announce that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex will be joining us in Dusseldorf on the 6th September to mark 1 year to go until the Invictus Games. Cannot wait to see it." Now, they are scheduled for the appearance just on that day. Don't know if they'll be doing any other things the days before or after, but we shall see them at least once in Dusseldorf. So very exciting. The opening ceremony will be in a 50,000 seater arena. So we are truly leveling up for the Dusseldorf Games. That is basically Olympic event level. And y'all, I feel like it's only when it happens that we are truly going to be able to grasp just how big the Invictus Games is becoming and has become. I mean, you've got, don't forget, Land Rover, Boeing, the creme de la creme of companies supporting this event, and pretty much every Ministry of Defense from the various countries that are participating, and also dignitaries that come and support the athletes from all of those countries. So, I mean, this is huge. This is just not some award show where we give out a little bit of money and then don't even follow up on the award winners or talk about the event afterwards, right? We're seeing consistency. I mean, since the last Invictus Games, I've seen so many updates go like since then. It hasn't really been out of our conscious in comparison to Earthworm, which just seemed to come and go. So very excited for Invictus. I am hoping to go myself, and I'm hoping to see some of you squaddies there if anyone else goes. And I think if we do get enough people that listen to the podcast and kind of that are in the Sussex sphere that are all going at the same time, I would absolutely love to meet up with people, plan some meetups. That would be amazing. Um, okay, that's to do with the Diana documentary, but I'm not going to go over that because we're done with that topic now. The other appearance that we're going to see, Harry and Meghan at the Well Child Awards in association with GSK. I'm not sure what that represents, but they will be there on the 8th of September, and more Well Child Awards information will be announced in the coming weeks. So this is an organization that is particularly close to Harry's heart, and he has been supporting them for some time. So very excited to see both Harry and Meghan at that award show. Let's go to your comments before we carry on. Lavender Rose, Harry and Meghan are movers and shakers. Exactly. Ultimate couple goals. This is what working together as a team looks like. A woman who adores her husband because her husband respects his wife. How it should be. Trudy, I just want them to be safe, and I'm sure that they will be safe. So Julia Rock, the Invictus Games is huge. It has an Olympics for disabled. It is an Olympics for our disabled service people. This is a community for people who put their lives on the line for us. Amazing movement. So proud. Yeah. And Harry has worked so hard. I saw a piece of video footage of Harry giving a speech at his first Invictus and how much he has improved since then. And there's also another piece of footage where he's watching people come into the games looking very nervous. And what an amazing evolution that he's gone through. All right, so that is the Well Child. Also, third appearance. One Young World announced that Harry and Meghan will be attending the One Young World Summit in Manchester also. The Duke and Duchess will also be meeting with a group of summit delegates who are doing outstanding work on gender equality. The Duchess has been a proud One Young World counsellor since 2014. So, yes, that is before he stepped into the royal fold. And here she is with Justin Trudeau and at the another Young One World Summit before she um, started dating Harry. So the One Young World Manchester Summit is between the 5th and the 8th of September. So they will be stopping over on one of those days. Now, interesting thing about One Young World. This is the co-founder, Kate Robertson. And at the time, when Harry and Meghan were struggling and voiced their struggles, she posted this: not having any of it. The Queen is the world's most stunning example of duty and service. The Sussexes have grievances, but should sort it out in person privately. Hurting the Queen in public is really low. The delusion. Can you hear the delusion? This is the delusion of royalists. The Queen is the most stunning example of duty and service. This is a woman whose entire life and all her privileges were given to her because of whose vajayjay she came out of. And those before her have those privileges and riches because they done took all the gold, silver, and jewels from other nations. And you're sitting here and saying the Queen is the most stunning example of duty and service. And then to say that someone should not air their grievances and sort them out in person privately. What's so interesting, do you know, I swear some of these royalists hear what they want to hear. Because any time that Harry and Meghan have actually spoken about what they've been through, they always praise the Queen. They've never said anything negative about the Queen. Harry, as far as he is concerned, the Queen is both his grandmother and Her Majesty, and he serves Her Majesty. He has never said anything other than that. He has expressed his disappointment that he wasn't supported, various ways in which he wasn't supported in the face of everything that was thrown at Harry and Meghan. But he's never actually he's just spoken his truth, and so has Meghan. But when it comes to the Queen specifically, he has never said anything negative. So where she's coming with all of this hurting the Queen in public, I don't even understand how royalists get so darn offended when it comes to Betty. It just makes no sense to me. Because it's just like, what has she actually done for you? Tell me something that she has actually done for you. They can never tell you. Anyway, Omid retweeted that message at the time saying, it seems that not everybody will be watching on Sunday, including the founder of One Young World, a youth-focused global forum that the Duchess of Sussex has been involved in for years. Now, she later apologized. I think I need to find the... Ooh, can't seem to find... Where did I put the tweets? Oh, yes. She later apologized, saying, I am so sorry. I sent a tweet this morning that was unduly critical of people I admire, I care about, and have worked with for a long time. People have called me out, and they were right to do so. We should all choose to contribute to a culture of kindness. Everyone has the right to tell their story. That's what our work is about. This was a good lesson. Commenting on people's personal lives is wrong. I'm truly sorry. Yes, Kate Robertson, you should be truly sorry. Especially considering the organization that she works with. And you're turning around and saying that somebody should not air their grievances, that you should be silent in the face of abuse. And again, when talking about the Queen, Harry and Meghan only ever praise her. So why did the Queen even come into this conversation? Now, when Meghan was at the last One Young World kind of award ceremony, this was also the woman who tried to curtsy and Meghan gave her a hug instead. Basically saying, I know I'm royal, but I still feel that I'm human. And you know what? I just want to give you a hug. I don't want you to curtsy to me. The amount of humility that Meghan has, how humble Meghan is. And this Kate Robinson decided to open her mouth in such a way. I can't. And if that's what she's saying publicly, you got to wonder what she was saying privately. To your comments. Thank you everyone for joining. Please thumbs up if you haven't already and hit that subscribe button. Maverick, I know for sure that Harry and Meghan watch some of the Sussex Squad shows and they are very appreciative of the global support. I don't know if I believe they watch our podcasts. Um, I I think that there might be people on Harry and Meghan's team or in their circle that might watch, or definitely on Twitter that see what we say for sure. But I don't think that Harry and Meghan watch our podcast. I would be very surprised. I'd be very, very surprised. We know that um Meghan's janky relatives on the Markle side watch our podcast. They're obsessed with us. To the point where they think that Baron is Meghan. But I don't think that Harry and Meghan watch. No. I don't think I'd want them to anyway. Just oh, we'd just stress them out. Chief Dilly, how have they hurt her? I think Meghan just existing probably hurts her. Oh, Joseph, long time no see. Hello, beloved squaddies. Tea time. I like when hot and dark, just like my women. Oh, Joseph, bringing the heat to the chat. Okay, everybody. Joseph's let you know what he likes. So, hit Joseph in the DM, ladies. Hit Joseph in the DMs. Sylvia, Meghan has always said the Queen has been nothing but nice to her. Exactly. Okay. So that is that. So just on to some commentary. So yeah, those three appearances, something to look forward to finally. Will we get archetypes before that? Well, I mean, summertime is almost ending, and they said that we were going to get archetypes during the summer. So I still don't know when we're getting archetypes. It would be nice if we could actually get archetypes before the end of October. Sorry, before the end of August. So that we can be all excited about archetypes and talk about archetypes. And then when September comes round, we're just focusing on the events, but we'll see. Rahini, why was she not fired for that? Probably because she just apologized and we just begged them and said, "Well, I misspoke." Chief Dilly, I was on the verge of donating to her one young organization. Now she can forget it. You know, it was actually after she said this, and there was also another British organization where one of the founders was mouthing off about Meghan, even though they were benefiting from being associated with her. It was after those incidences where a lot of American squaddies said, "We are never donating to any British fundraisers again." And I do remember some British squaddies setting up quite a nice fundraiser actually, and it did meet its targets, but I think it was a very low amount. I think it was like maybe 3,000 odd. And so after that, it was like there was almost this unanimous agreement: we're never doing we're never doing a fundraiser for any UK charity ever again, because some of these people just don't seem to be very grateful. But yeah, those are the main stories. On to some just general commentary. Um, yeah, so while all this is happening, while Harry and Meghan are coming over to the UK, or planning things to come over to the UK and to Europe, you've got the other ones who want to go over to America. So someone tweeted, "Not the Prince of Pagan going to America, and Harry and his family have a whole tour planned in another country. Harry is my favorite petty. I'm overjoyed." And you see, this is the problem when you're always looking to see if the grass is greener on the other side and not tending to your own lawn. Someone else saying, "It must suck to be Will and Kate. They announced that they're taking Earthworm to Boston, and the response was meh. Harry and Meghan are going to the UK and Germany, and it's breaking news, breaking news, breaking news." Yes, it has literally been breaking news all over the timeline here in the UK. And I'm sure that it will be nothing but them talking about this on the talk shows tomorrow as well. And as Royal Reporter said, "I hope people realise how important it is to ignore the Cambridge news. There is no interest despite all the news articles written about it. The others need the squad to amplify their events." Yes. And really, it would seem that as far as like organic conversation when it comes to the Cambridges, the funny thing is now it really just does seem to be the squad talking about it. Now, me personally, I will only ever talk about the Cambridges when I really think it's relevant or just to be petty. Like if they're, you know, roaming around in colonizer cosplay in Jamaica, then I'll talk about them. Otherwise, um, if it's not something that I think is worthy of talking about, then I try to just avoid talking about them altogether. And I think Royal Reporter is right there. Mm, see. Hello, Compton Cowgirl. Thanks for joining us. Denise Jones, this is such a shame. The arrogance of this woman. They just love to hate Harry and Meghan. Yes, and for no good reason. Yes, Shifa Dilly, you should keep her an apology. We're not having any of it. Goodbye. It'll be interesting to see if Meghan has any interactions with her. I mean, we know that Meghan is very forgiving, but Harry ain't. A crazy tracker, and this is the founder who represents a youth-focused forum for a marginalized group, and she can't see similarities between what's being done for the Sussexes. Exactly. Boy, it's a sickness, an actual sickness. Oh, seems to be quite a few of you coming in now. Hello, hello, hello. We are actually almost finishing, so please do join the replay gang. Cinderella, what do Kate and Willie do all day? That is a good question. Well, we know what Willie does because we took a good look through his schedule for the whole year, and it's not a whole lot. Um, so I hope that Republic group, who can be shady sometimes, I'm not going to say that I like them completely, um, but they did do a very good job with the reporting the so-called work that the royals do. And they did a very good one of William and Charles, and I hope they do one for Kate as well. Angela, some of these UK charities bite the hand that feeds them. Yes, and I'm sure that they're really regretting it now. Rahini, Duchess, this alternative court nonsense is heating up on Twitter, you guys. Yeah, so I saw Angela Latrine posting that. Guys, I wish you could see me right now. I'm literally just like laying back like a starfish on my bed because I'm just so hot and bothered. It's so it's so hot right now. I look a mess. Like if you could see me right now, you'd laugh. But yeah, I saw Angela Latrine posting that the reason Harry and Meghan are coming is to create an alternative court. Like it's just y'all, the delusion. The delusion is just unreal. Medication is needed because listen, Harry has effectively set up his own court in Montecito. There's nothing that he needs to do in the UK, right? The others, they can have this island. Sanju, a Duke of Windsor title was never stripped, even if supported Hitler and was a traitor of England. They should sorry, there should be huge outrage and protest in the UK if royalists try to strip Harry's titles. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't think I think there'll be outrage for sure, and I think people will ask the question, "What do you think you're doing, stripping Harry and Meghan's titles and not Prince Andrew?" Will there be protests? Well, I mean, they've protested about nothing so far. And interestingly enough, the only people that did protest against Prince Andrew, it just so happened to be a protest group who are QAnon aligned. So far, that's pretty much been the only major protests we've seen. Thank you so much to Alan Vernon for the super sticker. Much appreciated, darling. Hi, cookies and cream. The Unroyals are probably seething with jealousy. I'm glad the Sussexes are still continuing to work with their charities that's close to their hearts. I can't wait to see them. I can't wait to see them either. That's at least, at the very least, 3 outfit changes from Meghan. Yes, I am excited about the outfits too. I'm excited about the work, but I'm also excited about the outfits. That's 3 outfit changes and 3 speeches where we will not be mumbling. We will be talking with conviction and strength. No mumbling. Chief Dilly, starfish and proud. uh, so if my room didn't look like an absolute trash site from all of the unboxing, I'd legit turn off the camera just so you could see how ridiculous I look. When my room looks presentable and not like it got ransacked by a raccoon, then one day I'll put the camera on. Karen Russell Myers, who's always Cambridge, who's supporting the Cambridges, said this morning, why does Andrew cost 3 million when Harry has to fight to pay? I was in shock. Yeah, well, it's getting more and more difficult for these people to defend the royals. Thank you so much, Maverick, for the super chat. Trust me, darling. Harry and Meghan love and watch some Sussex Squad shows. You have eyes on you, baby. Keep up the good work. Oh well, thank you so much, and thank you for the super chat. I mean, I'd like to think that they are just aware of us, the squad, as a collective, and I think they are. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure they watch the shows. I don't know. Do you think? Do you think like Harry has a burner account? It's you, Sheila Williams. Sorry, not Sheila Williams. Sheila James. You're Harry. It's definitely you. Um, sorry, you said Harry told Hodder that the US was his home at the moment. Obviously, he intends to go back. Of course, of course. Thank you for letting us know, Sheila James, who is really Harry. And Perla, you're definitely Meghan, for sure. Marjorie, based on their schedule, the Sussexes will not be in the UK for long. One day in the UK, then Germany, then another day in the UK before flying home. Yeah, I think that's how it's going to be. I think that's definitely how it's going to be. They're not going to stick around. What? People are talking about orgasms and pap smears in the chat. What's going on here? Oh my god, guys. The way y'all have random conversations in the chat box. You know what? If it's positive conversations about your health, then go right ahead. You talk about orgasms and pap smears if you want to. Uh, Julia Rock. I wonder if they have Twitter accounts. Do you know what? As much as I know that Harry and Meghan say that they don't read, and I don't know, I can't help but think that they do, have burner accounts for social media. um, and we know that Harry actually used to have one. Wasn't it called like Dead Mouse or something for Instagram? So I don't know about Meghan, but I get the feeling that Harry probably has a few burner accounts and he's keeping an eye and an ear out. All right. In any case, they're just way too busy working, so probably not much time for social media. Alrighty. I will just go through your comments and then we will call it a day. There's nothing else I wanted to say. Thank you everyone so much for coming. Thank you all for your super chats and super stickers. Much appreciated. Lottie G, I see old Puke Face has Vantage. Maybe he and Tom Bowers are ashamed. Wasn't Puke Face on what's his face? What's that American talk show host? Is it Bill Maher? I heard he was on some American talk show, which I don't understand. I don't understand why you would invite someone whose own talk show is failing and who has failed at every stage of their career. Why would you invite that person onto your show? I don't understand because clearly nobody is really watching him anymore. I think Piss Moron should just find a new career as one of those podcast bro dude dating coaches. He'd probably do very well in that arena. He should just give up being any type of talk show host because he just fails at everything. Sylvia, I believe they might have listened to Sussex Squad podcast sometimes. You know what? I will always be suspicious of the fact that we were live on Sussex Squad podcast when they announced that Meghan was pregnant with Lilibet. Was it when she was pregnant with Lilibet? Yeah, they announced it then. So Cinderella, I imagine the kids won't be with them since it's such a short trip. Yeah, that's just going to be too much for the kids. Lavender Rose, here's a tip to stay cool. Fill a large basin of water and place in the middle of the room. Really? Of ice water. Yeah, I was about to say, like, won't that make the room a bit humid? But if it's ice water, that will probably help. I'll take your word for it and give it a try. Thank you so much, Canon, for the super sticker. Much appreciated. Gail Lewis, if not them, their team certainly do. Yes, I do believe that. I do believe that their team um keep an eye on the squad for sure. Oh, it was Bill Maher. Yes, that was the guy. Yes, imagine inviting a loser onto your show. For what? He must not have mentioned Harry and Meghan because I don't even know what it was that he was talking about. John Garcia, Bill Maher is questionable. Yes, he's always been suspect. Very dodgy guy. Thank you, Sistren. Reminding everybody to thumbs up and hit the subscriber button. All right, who's going to get the last word of the day? Um, and Marina, they don't want him for Fox News. He's now sucking up to Maya. Yeah, exactly. But what does it say when your own don't want you? What does it say? I mean, Fox News is meant to be his audience, right? But I think they only had him around, when Trump was around because he was supporting Trump. But you know, the uh, right-wing Americans of Fox News don't want to listen to you. He tried to take the more centrist route on CNN. They didn't want to listen to him. So where does he have to go at this point? And whatever audience he's trying to build with his current show are bored of him also. Cat Harlem, is that picture of Drake with the dragon nails fake? Yes, it is fake. It's 100% fake. Uh, but I just loved it and I thought it was hilarious next to a picture of Camilla. Okay, please put the old music. Oh, I will put the old music. I'll absolutely put the old music. All right, cookies and cream. I'm going to give you the last word of the day. Everyone, please stay safe, pray, don't peg, and hydrate. Thank you so much, cookies and cream. And thank you, everyone, as always, the moderators for doing the Lord's work and everyone for donating. And if you want to donate through other means, PayPal, Cash App, or whatever, links in the description box or as the pinned comment. Thank you all. I will see you tomorrow. September's going to be awesome. Bye.